All right, and we're live. It's a Dave K show. This is an impromptu episode tonight, and if anybody's watching this live right now, welcome back to the show. We had a great show earlier with Eric Patu and Derek Poirier. We talked about the deep state. We talked about Q. We talked about government. The state of our government and affairs with our recent election that came back. And lo and behold, as soon as we did the show, I had a special friend of mine who came in town. She was doing wrapping up a short film in Baton Rouge. And I'm going like, we've got to get you on the show because actually she's going to be part of our crew coming up pretty soon. So we want to do an impromptu show. And before we get started, we always have to say that we, kind of cross promote each other for our media and everything. So we want to recognize once again PoincapeReporter.com. PoincapeReporter.com is Poincape's oldest locally owned, continuously operated news website. Since 2012, they've been Poincape's news and information hub. Check them out at PoincapeReporter.com. Go like those guys. We're on the front page of their website. We kind of cross-promote each other. And don't forget about the Poincape banner, which is Poincape's oldest and only paper. And they're now on Facebook also. So it's always good to have stuff that you can put on your coffee table, hold. Hey, who loves reading the newspaper like the old guys used to do, right? You love reading the newspaper. That's something we can hold, get a little bit of ink on our hands, show that we've been kind of using our brain. So, well, anyway, without further ado, I want to invite you to love our next guest coming up here. And she is none other than Carstil DeSalva. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Dave?
I'm doing great. So glad to have you on. You're going to be
Thank
part of our
you.
crew coming up, and maybe even doing some on air hosting and everything coming up pretty soon. So basically, I want to first of all welcome you to the show. Welcome to you as part of the team.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, get close to that microphone. There you go.
Super excited to be here.
Yes. So you are a lady of many, many talents as far as the film industry goes, right? So you've been doing
Yes,
a whole
sir.
lot of stuff. So let's tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and your entry level into the film industry.
Well, I'm a local. I live in Slidell, Louisiana.
Slidell, we won't hold that
Yep.
against you.
I'm originally from Georgia.
The North Shore.
Yeah, the North Shore.
All right, why do they call it the North Shore? Where's the shore at that's north?
I still haven't figured
Okay,
that one
okay.
out.
When you find out, just let me know. Okay, let
Yeah.
me know when you find out.
When I find out, I'll let you know.
All right. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I've been in the entertainment industry for several years. My background was in theater. I've just had a lot of stuff going on. We just finished up wrapping up independent film
Awesome.
today in Baton Rouge. Today was the wrap.
Great. Can you tell us anything about it?
The name of it is Thanks, Dad.
Okay.
Our premiere is probably going to be in December sometime, probably around the end of December.
Okay. Can you give us a little synopsis about what it's about?
Um,
Without giving away any spoilers or anything? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, it's a surprise ending. You'll really be shocked. I can
Yes.
say that. It's
Give us
gonna
a
be
general kind of synopsis of what the plot is, just generally speaking. What's it
generally
about?
speaking. It's about a young man who's growing up. I'm trying to see how I can word this without giving a spoiler alert.
Right.
The director, producer,
Or what
might get me.
yeah, we don't want to do that. But what concepts does it talk about? What are you exploring in this film?
Just exploring how it is growing up in really rough circumstances, going through different stages of your life alone. You
Right.
know,
That's going to hit with a lot of
so,
people. That's
yeah.
going to resonate with a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So does it have a happy ending, or is it a cliffhanger, or?
I think it has a happy ending.
Good. I love
I
those.
do.
Love
I
those.
do.
Right.
So I think it's going to be a great movie. I definitely will have more to say about it as soon as it airs. We're going to have the premiere probably around the end of December. So
Awesome. Great.
I
Great.
think it's going to be a really, really great movie. I think the producer, she has an awesome vision, and I think it's going to be great.
Right. So you're going to invite the Dave K show out there to the premiere?
Oh, I would love that.
Right.
I would love that.
Great.
So I just finished wrapping that up. Just got a lot of different things going on. I'm also a model as well, and I'm doing a really big project. I'm not sure if you know who it is, but I'll be working with Franques.
Oh no. Gene Franques.
Yes, we have a.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere now. Okay.
Yes, he's put together a project. It's been in the works for years. for years. He's had this idea, and it's coming to fruition now, and
Right.
I'm just super, super excited about it. He is phenomenal. Anybody that doesn't know, like, he is a phenomenal photography. A lot of the people in the industry that I know that are actors, models alike, he is the go-to guy.
Yes,
Um,
right.
uh,
Well, let
yeah,
me stop you right there for a second, because Gene, if anybody does not know Gene Franques, you need to know him if you're in the film and video industry
yes,
in
yes,
South Louisiana. I'll say statewide, but definitely South Louisiana for sure. Gene will get you set up with headshots. He'll get you set up with some great
yes,
photography. If you're an aspiring model, if you're an experienced model,
yes.
and you're looking for some great shots, go to Gene Franques Models and Talent Photography. Go look him up on Facebook. He will get you hooked up, right?
Oh, he will get you hooked up. He will
Yes.
get you hooked up.
Right.
So,
And hey, let me tell you something. Hang on a second. Grant in the back, our producer, tells me that we have Gene Franques on the line.
oh, do
Gene,
we?
Gene,
Hello.
what is up, man?
Hey.
Hi, Gene. How are you?
Look at that. Two of my favorite people.
Oh,
He's just saying that.
I know.
We owe him money. That's why he's saying that. No, I'm just. No, how you doing, man? Glad to hear from you. Tell us a little bit about the project you got going on.
Well,
Well, what you
it's
can
been-
tell us anyway.
It's been a very, very busy year, and it looks like it's not going to slow down. So what I had in mind was to continue to expand my artistic muscles, if you will, creating something new. And for well over a year, I've been trying to put something together, and I've decided that we're going to do a vampire shoot.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Listen to that. I can almost see it already. So even though Halloween is past, right?
Right, right. The thing is that vampires are, rather popular, even now on TV. They've
Pop
got
culture.
a series on the CW, or is it CBS? Anyway, vampires just doesn't get old, and we decided to get together, and I think I've got a pretty good team put together to do this type of shoot. And the great thing about it is that we're going to be shooting it in an actual graveyard.
Interesting. Wow. Interesting. Now, let me stop you there, Gene, because a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh my gosh, you're doing it in a graveyard." Hang on a second. Well, let's kind of qualify that for a second here, because everything is done with the utmost respect for everybody. And films and videos and television programs do this all the time. They film in graveyards, and those type of cemeteries and everything. They get their proper permissions, and they get their proper film permits and everything.
Exactly.
And full permission is always granted when we go to do a shoot like this. In fact, I was in a short film called Coming Home with Chuck Bush recently, directed by Chuck Bush, and we shot in the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Baton Rouge. But we were very, very respectful. We didn't walk over anybody's graves. So that's what we need to let people know, that when we do shoots like this, we're very
Yes.
respectful, and we have permission.
Yes, of course.
So I can give you another example. A couple of years ago, I'm also a SAG actor, so I was on NCIS New Orleans, and the scene that I was in, I played a Master Chief, was in a real graveyard. But, like you said, David, we don't leave anything to chance. We always get full permission and make sure it's all on the up and up, and we maintain the respect of the people there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it sounds great. Like I said, it's definitely a theme that's not going to go away. When we have The Walking Dead, we have all this the zombie stuff in pop culture that's kind of resurging now. Because if you remember, it started off Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
did. It
I think
did.
Michael Jackson was instrumental in getting this whole zombie thing back into pop culture again.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a show recently. We had Derek Poirier on. We talked about the actual roots of the real zombies.
I saw that.
Yes, pop
Yeah.
culture kind of glamorizes it and romanticizes it, but it really goes back into some dark stuff and everything, and so it's very interesting. Yeah, so that kind of stuff never goes out of style. It's sometimes it's more seasonal than year round.
Yeah.
But I think like what you said, Gene, you're going to do this really kind of preparing for the next Halloween season coming up.
Well, yes, and I think I've got the people so far. I've got a great start. Carstil is going to be one of my vampires.
Excellent.
What I'm hoping for is 8 female vampires. I still have a number of models and actresses to speak to. I interview everybody, and I've already secured 2 fantastic hair and makeup artists. I'm looking for 2 more, by the way.
Yes.
And we're going to actually have a film crew out there to put together a short movie of what it's like to be behind the scenes of this type of shoot. And so, it's going to be something that is quite exciting, to be quite honest.
Yes, absolutely. That sounds great. Sounds very, very good. And people don't realize the work that's involved in this, right, Gene?
Oh, my God. The work.
I have no idea.
The work and the stress. But, the vast majority of the people, and I mean the vast majority, is very supportive in this project. And
yes.
that I'm very thankful for.
Right. Very, very good, man. Yeah, that sounds great. You look at all the growing up and you go like, that sounds like, the whole vampire theme sounds like it's something off the wall, and it's like, that is kind of weird, But, hey, man, kind of think about growing up as a kid, the Addams Family. Who watched the Addams Family?
Oh, my God.
I mean,
loved it.
Right, exactly. Go back further than that. The whole story of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
All of these classic stories growing up and everything that talked about, kind of the theme that we're talking about with this shoot right here. It's amazing, And I think it's something that needs to kind of be brought back to the limelight every now and then, so we don't forget about those kind of things, you know. And it's turning your creativity into a different direction to explore new things.
And I'm very confident about it because I'm always upgrading my equipment, and I've got a brand new top-of-the-line camera, flash equipment, so that we can get the right effect that we want to get. And I've used some of that equipment recently on Carstil's modeling shoot.
Great.
And she's now a published model.
Awesome. Congratulations, Carstil.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's great. Very, very good. That's quite an accomplishment.
I mean, I couldn't, like I said, Jean is a phenomenal photographer. I know the model does some work, but it boils down to the photographer. And I'm not trying to sit here and keep promoting Jean, but I have to. He's awesome. Not just with the modeling, he did my headshots, and I was getting auditions. I was getting a couple auditions off Actors Access and a couple other sites. But let me tell you, as soon as I put my photos up that I'd done with Jane, I was getting so many hits.
Wow, it's
so
amazing.
many hits. I uploaded those, and I mean, I really saw a big difference.
It's incredible. Well, Gene, how can people get in contact with you if they want to get your services?
Well, my Facebook page is under my name, Gene Franques, and on my personal Facebook page, you will see a camera and the words Model and Talent Photography. You click on that, and it'll take you to my professional Facebook page. And on both, I've got my phone number there. I've got my email address there. I even have a website.
Great.
That they can go.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not hard to get in touch with. Let me give you my phone, and in case anybody's got a pencil and paper out there,
go ahead.
It's area code 504-234-2665. And if I can't answer it, please leave me a message. You may be a little shocked on the voicemail, but don't let it shock you. That is me.
All right. Well, you got that radio voice, man. I tell you, you ought to, if the photography job doesn't work out, you can always fall back on radio broadcasting.
Oh, definitely. He has that.
I've got 20 years in radio and television.
Well, there you go. I figured that.
Almost 20 years in Hollywood movies, and God, you meet so many great people in this industry. Really.
Yes. Well, Gene, let's kind of switch gears a little bit now that I got you on the phone. Of course, this month is November, and so we are honoring our veterans this month, not only for Veterans Day, but for the whole month of November. So we want to, first of all, thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you, Gene.
It was an honor to serve.
Yes, absolutely. Hats off. Look, I'm a first responder, but I don't even put myself in a class of people like you who actually went out there and put their life on the line and served our country. So my hat's off to you, Carstil. My hat's off to you, and we just want to appreciate you and thank you for that.
Thank you so much for your
that,
service.
David. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. But, first responders, you've got to give them credit too. I mean,
Definitely,
so,
definitely.
On the
so
civilian
many
side, yeah.
I mean, they actually put their life on the line also.
True too, yeah.
I served in Vietnam, and then I spent my time in law enforcement, and now I have my own detective agency, as a matter of fact.
Interesting, yes.
I continue to serve, and if you don't mind, let me mention that I'm a member of the American Legion,
Yes.
the largest veterans organization in the world. I'm a commander at one of the posts in Metairie, and I'm also a state officer. I'm the state historian for the state of Louisiana for the American Legion. So, and it's a great organization. All of these veterans organizations are really fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. So, as far as American Legion, is there like a chapter like in every major city? How does that work?
Well, most cities, not major, but major and smaller towns, have a post. And to join the American Legion, or even just to find out a little bit about it, you just look up for your local American Legion post and talk with either the commander or actually any member. And we're out at these festivals. I know that what I did is I teamed up with the Ponchatoula American Legion. Brian Sladno is the commander over there, and they're rebuilding that post. I used to be in the post in Laplace. I was the chaplain there for a lot of years. Then I heard about a post on Little Forms Avenue in Metairie that was about ready to close, and so I transferred over immediately with another friend of mine by the name of Ben Bogran, and we're rebuilding that post. So
great.
My post and the Ponchatoula post has teamed up, and we're helping each other rebuild our post. We help each other.
That's amazing. Now, tell us a little bit about the American Legion. I mean, can you join it? I mean, what do y'all do like year round?
Okay. Well, first of all, the American Legion was formed 100 years ago this year.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It was the first one to be formed, the first veterans organization at the end of World War II, and it was formed by Theodore Roosevelt's grandson in France. It's because of the American Legion that we have VA hospitals. It's because of the American Legion that we have VA benefits. We are chartered by Congress. And if you remember about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 7, when these VA clinics were killing so many of our veterans
of the
lack of service, and this man went in front of Congress with his finger saying, heads are going to roll, I want this corrected, and the finger belonged to the national commander of the American Legion.
Wow. Good job for him.
Well, now, the good news is recently a change was made in our Constitution. It used to be you had to serve during a time of war to become a member. That has changed. If you're an honorably discharged veteran and you've served anywhere from December the 7th, 1941 to present day, you are eligible to join the American Legion.
Oh, wow.
Great. So December 7th was that Pearl Harbor?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. So that is great. Well, I'm definitely going to encourage Thomas when he gets back from the Army, next year to join.
Oh, absolutely. We've got, just so many great posts that does so many great things for the public, because our purpose is to help the veterans, their families, and to continue to serve the public, and that's what we do.
That is great. Well, hats off to you, man. That is amazing. So, so I guess the American Legion is very well known to veterans. I mean, y'all market yourself to veterans pretty well.
Oh yeah. We even get a list of veterans that have joined the American Legion on the national level, but don't belong to a post. And so we try to give them a call and transfer them to the post so they can come to the meetings and to sign up for some of the free benefits that we have. And a lot of veterans don't know about the free benefits. And when I say that, the ears perk up.
Right, right, free.
I think that's just a great thing, though, that they're doing.
Yes.
Well, it is, and we're proud to serve, and we continue to serve. So.
Well,
yes.
Just thank you again, Gene, for your service to our country. I'm a proud military mom.
Yeah.
I love what you guys are doing. I'm so appreciative of what you've done for us, as civilians, and what you guys have sacrificed, a lot. And just thank you again. Thank you so much.
Well, again, I'll say it was an honor to serve, and I continue to serve, and it's still an honor. So,
Right. I wanted to ask you also, Gene, because looking around, like in city to city, there are other veterans organizations that I see, like say the Veterans of Foreign, the VFW Post.
Okay.
right, and I am also a member of the
Ah,
VFW.
okay, of course,
Wow.
Gene. Right. So what does the VFW do? Of course, you have to be a veteran there, right?
Yes, you have to be a veteran to join any veterans organization, and there's an exception to that rule. Let me get to that in just a second. But the difference between the American Legion and the VFW is that in the VFW, you have to have served in a combat theater.
Hmm.
In other words, you have to have gone into a combat country to join, and there's nothing wrong with that, and they do great things. You have so many other veterans organizations that really off the top of my head, I can't think of them, but you got the, what do you mean, those that have been wounded has an organization that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Wounded Warrior?
The Wounded Warriors,
Right.
thank you.
Yes.
I know they have is it Wounded Warrior Project? Is that different?
Right, that's what I was talking about, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we, you see us out there, so many of the veterans organizations in a can shake handing out poppies. I know I like to hand out American flags on certain days, and I might be in front of a Bromart, or other organizations might be in front of Walmart and handing these things out. And, of course, people can donate, and that money goes to help those veterans and also to our youth programs. And a lot of people don't understand that we do have them because we're investing in our future soldiers, our future leaders. The American Legion has something called Boy State, and it's a leadership program. And we take 11th graders, and at the end of that year, we send them to, well, for us, we send them to Natchitoches, and they come back different people. Parents are constantly praising. So we also have American Legion Baseball. We officially sponsor Boy Scout. And some posts even sponsor the Young Marines, which is a great organization.
Right. That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than what people realize.
Right. That is great. So, no shortage of organizations to join, of course, but we kind of partial to the American Legion, that's for sure.
Well, I am.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Look, you're going to have to just get Gene Franques on here one day, because let me tell you,
2 days.
2 days, Gene, he does my photography work, but he is just all around very interesting guy. He's probably the coolest friend that I have.
Oh, Gene's amazing, yes.
Yeah.
He is, right.
I mean, every time I talk to him, he just tells me something that just blows my mind. He's a very, very interesting person.
Right. Gene has been to the far ends of the world and back. He's experienced life. He's knows so many different people. I mean, Gene, your worldview is so accurate because you've been everywhere. You've experienced so many things in your life. It's always a joy to be around you. And you learn something every time you're with Gene, right?
Every time. Every time.
Right.
God, I appreciate those very kind words.
Sure.
But I would like to correct something, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely.
Carstil, God bless her little heart. But she gives me so much credit. But, as a photographer, we treat people I treat people with utmost respect. But we cannot get the picture unless we're working with the right model, whether it's a male or female.
There you go.
And when Carstil and I did her modeling shoot, we had a blast. We laughed
Every time.
Oh my God, we have such a good time, and the results in the pictures were phenomenal. I mean,
great. Yeah, I saw them.
She mentioned one thing when she posted her headshots. She it's because she's got that look that these producers and directors want. She's got theater experience. She's really a fantastic actress. She's very, 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 very.
Thank you, Gene.
So she wound up getting 4 auditions and 4 paid jobs because of the proper headshots.
That's incredible. What's he paid off already?
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
got
she
I've
is.
got print I've got print work. Yeah, a number of different jobs.
Right.
From
But I have to ask you. So you and Gene met recently. Did y'all get involved with the 48-hour film project this year?
No, actually, I met Gene shortly after he had just finished it. I do plan on hopefully getting together with Gene next year for the 48-hour film
Right.
project.
Consider it done. Consider it done.
I tell you what, I've been involved with several 48 hours projects before, and in fact, I met Gene for the very first time when we
Yep.
went to our premiere for our 48 hour. I think back in 2017 or 18, or
Okay.
2017. He was taking pictures of the 48. That's where I met Gene for the first time, and we instantly clicked. I mean, like minds think alike, and
Yeah.
just like you and Gene clicked when y'all met and everything. And so that really kind of made me want to do the 48 hour again year after year after year. So my dream, I can't even imagine what it would be like to be working with Gene on a 48 hour project.
Oh my God! You know what? It was gonna be a blast.
Right.
Gene is like he's a riot. He's a riot. Absolutely love working with him.
Right.
Well,
I feel blessed just having him as a friend. I met him at the North Shore Film Alliance, and we just automatically, it was like magnets. We just clicked. I mean, we were like drawn our personalities, and we started out as a business relationship, but I'm very happy to say he's a very good friend of mine, and he's friends with me and my husband, and I talk to him probably at least every other day.
Right. Right.
He's just an awesome guy. Awesome.
Yes, definitely. So, so 48 hour film project coming up pretty soon. I'm sure y'all will collaborate then, because
Yeah.
you have to, So,
well, I'm the official photographer for the 48-hour film festival, and I'm there every year from the very beginning when people are putting their teams together. I go to the meet and greets and get random pictures and post them, and I really don't have the time to get involved in the actual filming of each project, but I got drafted last year and
Yes.
the year before, and
He's like, I got drafted.
right. Right.
but no, it was, I was exhausted, but it was so much fun.
Yes.
And like David said, he and I met some years back, and right now there is a project that David has that I have the honor and the privilege of being a part of, and Carstil, I've got a feeling that we're going to draft you into David's project.
Oh, no doubt.
David does put out some great films. He recently did one. David, what was the one with the Acadian ambulance that you did?
Yeah, that was Unit 68, which that's another story, right, Carstil? Unit 68.
You could probably. It's funny. You mind if I tell the story real quick?
Mhm.
I just came in. I'm not gonna give out any details. I'm gonna save that for another show.
Keep on
But
going, look at this.
there's gonna be a web series coming soon. But one of the actors that's in the web series that I'm gonna be doing was. I showed him a picture and gave him the name, and it's actually the actor that was in the last movie with Dave.
Right, Tyler Roberts. Tyler Roberts. There he is right
Yep.
there. There he is, yes.
So yeah, it's a small world. So that was really interesting.
Yes. So yeah, Tyler Roberts. So I think you saw him, and then he said that he knew me.
He
and
just actually he's in Thanks Dad, and we're gonna be doing another project soon, a web series, and he's gonna be in that. And I told him I was headed over here, and that's when I found out about him being in your last film. So
Right.
that was really exciting.
Yes, and he will be in
Yeah.
Paul too. He'll be in that one as one of the sailors coming off the ship. So a smaller role, but he'll gladly take it anyway. And I have to say, my other screenplay that I had, Gene, I don't know if I told you about this, but we had Jeff Horner and Chuck Bush as recent guests. They've been on twice already. They hosted a screenplay competition recently, and it was open worldwide actually. And Chuck Bush kept saying, Dave, I saw your Lost and Found script. He goes like, dude, you need to enter that script in this contest. He said, I'm not judging. I have some professional judges, but you need to enter it. So I reluctantly entered it, and so lo and behold, I got the top five.
Wow.
And so a couple of weeks went by later. The deadline passed, so I didn't win the screenplay contest, but I was very honored to be in the top 5 out of people from all over the world that entered this
Wow,
thing.
that's a big deal.
It was,
Wow.
and then Tyler
That is
actually.
congratulations.
That is
Yes,
great.
so Tyler Roberts actually had him scheduled to play the leading guy in the film. He played the angel and the maitre d the next night or whatever. Tyler was going to play both parts because they look alike in the film. And I'm kind of glad, to be honest with you, if Chuck Bush is listening, and Jeff, because they watch the shows. If you're listening, no problem at all. Hey, like, if I didn't win, it's really kind of on the good side because I have more creative control over the film when I get ready to do it now. Because I know they wanted to take all the creative control from the winner, because they're going to finance the whole film. And so I say congratulations to the couple from Lafayette. Their film majors in Lafayette. They won the actual competition. They actually have film degrees, actually, both of them. So hats off to them. And we're going to get Chuck and Jeffrey with hopefully with them on our show pretty soon.
Oh, that would be great.
Yes, and go over. But they're going to start filming that in January, I think it is. Hey, go ahead and plug it back up. So good to go on that for sure. But so Gene, real quick, I was telling Carstil about Paul, and a lot of times it takes several years for a film to come into fruition. It does not mean you're not working on it. It doesn't mean you forgot about it. It just takes a little while to get those funds rolling in and to get the process rolling, right?
Exactly. But I tell you what, once we get the funds in, we're ready to start the filming.
Yes.
People are still getting in touch with me. When are we going to shoot? When are we going to shoot?
Yes. Right. And I totally understand that. We are still working on the budget on that one, and
it's coming though. It's coming.
I was telling you, 68 was 3 years from concept to completion. It took 3 years to make that film.
Wow. People don't realize some films take a long time.
Yes, they do.
A long time. There's a film I'm going to be starting soon, and actually in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They've been filming for over a year and a half now.
Filming
and
for,
it's not due to be even completed until the end of 2020. So
even short films, like you said,
they really,
to do them right.
Time.
I could take some shortcuts, Gene, and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and do it now, but it wouldn't. I'm willing to wait and get it done right.
Yeah.
You see, David and I, God, we work so well.
I completely agree.
Mm-hmm. We are so like-minded. That when I talk to David about something, I mean, he's right there with me, and we're both on the same level. So, but I do want to spin off into one more thing, David, if I could.
Sure.
I want to congratulate you. I am just overwhelmed and so impressed about the David K. Show.
I appreciate it.
It has been a boom. It is the talk of the industry.
Really? Wow.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Wow.
It really is.
Well, several other film people. Gloria, I'm sorry, Victoria Green is actually doing a podcast in New Orleans, and a couple other people in the film industry are starting a podcast. And my hat's off to them, because let me tell you something. We're nowhere near we want to be. We've just begun. This is our 50th episode, by the way.
I was about to say this is Dave, the Dave K. Show. This is his 50th episode. So
right.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Congratulations.
And once again, it's part of the success goes once again to our guests, like Gene, Carstil, y'all. The guests make the show. I'm here to kind of facilitate conversation, but it's interesting people like y'all. And let me tell you something. The mission statement, so to speak, for the Dave K. Show. What we're all about is we're about showcasing Louisiana talent,
Love it.
Louisiana
Love it.
music,
local
Louisiana
yes.
homegrown talent. I'm more partial to South Louisiana, but I'll take the whole state. So,
along with the food.
Right. Anything having to do with that's originating out of Louisiana, that's what this show's about. And that's why, so we got kind of like a little broad category of guests. That's why I can get like a musical guest here, or somebody like Alex, that's a chef. Remember, he was here early. He's a chef, but he knows all about the deep state and the government and everything. So, but these are people from Louisiana. I want to say, I'm tired of Louisiana being last and everything that should be first, and first and everything that should be last. We're here.
Totally
We don't cover negative stuff on the show. We cover positive stuff.
Right.
And every now and then, sometimes a little bit of negativity comes out of what we're covering, but overall, it's positive stuff. So that's kind of what we're about.
I was on the show Looper, the movie, when it was being done.
Oh, yeah, right.
with Bruce Willis. I got to work directly with him, and I was a stand-in for one of the main characters. But the point I'm making is that we ate good on set. They got one of the local, well, of course, Bruce Willis was going to get the best of the best.
Oh, yeah.
We got to gain 5 pounds.
All right.
God, it was so good.
Right.
But that's what I love. I'm originally, David, from Opelousas.
Okay, right down the road.
Yeah, so I'm Cajun all the way, and I still buy my cayenne pepper by the gallon. I love
I can believe that. I can believe that.
Wow, yes indeed. So, hog head cheese, boudin, you up for it? I mean,
Okay, you're making me hungry over here.
Right.
Look, my mouth's watering.
Right.
Okay.
See, we're promoting Louisiana. We're doing it as we speak.
I have some friends, and now the lady and her family live in Picayune, Mississippi.
There we go.
And the lady's name is Hyla DeLong, and that's part of my family over there. Not blood relative, but family, if you follow my drift. And I go there, and she makes me hoghead cheese.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Yes,
In fact, I'm
indeed.
going to their house for Thanksgiving. Because, God, she can
Yes.
cook.
Oh, my
Can
gosh.
I just invite myself to come along, Gene?
Okay, so Gene, where do you get your crackling from?
I'm laughing because, God, that's so funny. All right, look, let me explain something to you. You can't just buy cracklins and boudin anywhere. You have to find the right place.
So
Now,
true.
for
Yes,
me,
that's true.
when I go up to Alexandria for the American Legion conferences, I take Interstate 10. When I get on that Henderson Swamp 20-mile bridge, when I get to the other side, I take the first exit, and that is, what's the name of the town? It's not Port Barry. It's, I can't think of it.
Crotch Springs, Port Barry.
No. Oh, no. We're talking about on Interstate 10. It's the exit, the first exit after you get off the bridge, that 20-mile bridge. But anyway, you take a right. You take a right, and there's this red roof building called A-Bears. I love it.
Okay.
When I get
Not Henderson. Is it Henderson?
Henderson. Yes, the Henderson.
I know the red roof. I know what he's talking
Yes.
about.
And people will say, how do you spell A-Bears? I say, it's spelled just like it sounds, H-E-B-E-R-T-S. So anyway,
Right.
you go in there, and I always pick up hot, smoked boudin.
Oh, my gosh, really?
I get 4 links. They cut it in half so I can eat it while I'm driving, which I'm not supposed to do. That's okay.
Right.
And for dessert, I get a bag of cracklins.
Oh, yes.
To die
And so this
for.
is A-Bears in Henderson.
Yes.
Bears and Henderson.
Got to go there. Got to make a special trip to go there, Gene.
And I always get both the boudin and the cracklins on my way up, and 2 days later on my way back.
Right.
So, oh, God.
I was about to say, I'm sure he goes on the way back too.
Right. Exactly. You got to. That is great. So of course the crackling, they serve it warm. It's still warm. We hate cold crackling.
Oh yeah, it's warm. Oh God, yes.
Man.
So.
All right. So what about beef jerky? You got any good places for beef jerky?
I don't, because there's usually no room because I'm so full.
Right.
That if you hate getting beef jerky because you can't eat it until way later.
Enjoy it, right?
Do they sell venison? Do they sell venison jerky here in Louisiana? I haven't seen it. In Georgia, they have it.
Venison jerky. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is delicious. Delicious.
Venison being deer, right?
Yeah, deer. We call it deer jerky in Georgia.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I was trying to venison's the correct.
Right.
name.
Exactly. Right.
You have to get one of the deer hunters to. A lot of them make it themselves. But
It's
That's
delicious.
true, too. Yeah. So I have to put a plug in for Bajrals in Port Island. Bajrals has some very good specialty meats like that. They're very good. They have
Bajrals. Oh, that's an unusual name down here in South Louisiana.
right. Exactly. Right. The N is silent. Right.
Yeah, right. And being born and raised in Opelousas, I've learned how to cook because the men do the cooking in Cajun country.
Oh, right.
And I love my gumbo. Oh, I make a gumbo.
Regine,
A salt beef.
are you still involved with the Pampered Chef?
Actually, I am. Oh my God, they've been trying to get me to sell Pampered Chef for years,
Right.
and I got everything, and I use it every day. And oh, my red beans. Oh, I lost 50 pounds so far by eating red beans every morning.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, beans are good for you. You're right.
All protein. I put some tasso. Boy, I tell you what, the Yankees are going to say, what is the language he's using? Tasso.
Awesome.
And
Right. Should we bleep that out? No, that's a good word.
and I've switched to red onions because they're more healthy, and lots of cayenne pepper, garlic powder, garlic salt. Oh God! With dried red beans, and you put it in a crock pot, let it cook for about 10 hours. Ooh, Lord,
Wow, let's go. We're coming to your house, man. You
I
got
know,
the place
right?
over. Right, right. Give us an excuse to come to your house. Well, I guess the food is the excuse, right?
That's it. Oh man, I'm hungry now. I wasn't hungry. Now I'm hungry.
And she
You know,
can't
it's
go to
kinda funny.
Henderson. It's the wrong way to back home.
You're right, it is.
Man.
You're right, it is. But when I was growing up, I mean, when I'm in my late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, and on, back when I was single, and I'm still single again, by the way. But anyway, back before I got married, I had dates, and they'd come to the house and they'd eat, and then I realized they're not coming to see me because they like me. They're coming to eat my food.
Right.
Man,
Oh.
those girls can eat.
Wow. That is.
But it was a compliment when they went for their third serving. Thank God I cook a lot of beans.
Wow, it's amazing. Let me ask you this, Gene. So, of course, you live by yourself since you're single, right?
Yes, I am.
You cooking all this food and everything. I mean, do you make like huge pots of this stuff, or like a little small bowl, or how do you cook your food?
No, I bought a crock pot that's 8.5 quarts. That's 2.5 gallons, and that is how much red beans I make at a time. Then I take two of my Tupperware bowls, and I pour it into that, and that goes into the freezer.
Right, freeze it, right.
Yeah, and then you take one out and you let it defrost, and then you eat on that for about a week and a half. And when that's gone, you wash the bowl, and when you start on your last bowl, you make another batch, so you can always have the red beans available.
Interesting.
And I did switch my rice to jasmine rice. That's where the weight loss came in, because it's just not as fattening.
Okay, jasmine
I didn't know
rice.
that.
Huh, okay, because I always think about Mahatma water made, that kind of stuff, or great
Me
value.
too.
Yeah.
For us people on a
Yeah.
budget, great value.
Well, Mahatma makes jasmine rice also.
Interesting.
Oh,
Well,
and
so, Carstil, I have to ask you about. Okay, so take us for like maybe a typical supper at your house. What do you got going at your house?
At my house?
Yes.
Well, my husband's from Brazil, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. It's still rice and beans though. Brazilians, believe it or not, are a lot like people from Louisiana. They love rice and beans.
Right.
They have it with every meal.
Right.
Every meal.
It's it's a versatile
Yeah.
dish to cook. I mean, you can do all kind of stuff with it.
oh yeah.
The rice is, I love the way they cook the rice. I haven't tasted like any other rice like it. Has a lot of flavor. They put garlic, a lot of stuff in the rice. It's delicious.
Right.
But usually in my house, it's rice, beans, and some sort of meat.
So both of y'all cook. Both of y'all cook. Do share the cooking responsibilities, or?
I'm not gonna lie, my husband more so.
Right. Right.
Just because
But you're on
my-
the go all the time. You're
yeah,
always
just
doing
because
stuff.
I love cooking. Don't get me wrong. When I have time, I love to cook, and I think I'm a pretty good cook. My grandfather, he was a cook in the army, and he had me in the kitchen from the time I was old enough to walk.
Right. So when y'all got married, were you able to cook the minute for your honeymoon, or did you have to learn how to cook after you got married?
No, I knew how to cook a little bit. I didn't know how to cook rice and beans the way they cook it in Brazil. He showed me, but my dinners at my house are usually rice and beans, some sort of meat to go with it, chicken, steak,
Right.
something like that.
Right. And y'all save stuff in the freezer. You pretty much eat it all up the night you cook it.
It's pretty much gone. There's
Boom,
yeah.
yeah.
And look, it's me, my husband, and my son, and he's like, I don't know where the food goes. He's skinny as a rail, but it's gone. Like
Right.
there are no leftovers
High
in my
metabolism.
house.
Yep, high
Yeah.
metabolism. Give
Miss
him,
those days.
I bet you probably want some of his metabolism, right?
Man, I wish I could. I wish I could bottle it up.
Right. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah. So we cannot talk about Louisiana without talking about food. That's why I'm kind of going that direction right now. So yeah.
Good subject.
Yes, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. So Gene, when can we have you on the show, man?
Well, I was going to wait until after I finish this current project.
Yeah, we're in no big hurry. That's not a problem.
But I'll see about making my way up there before then, so we can do just a simple 1 hour,
It ain't gonna be 1 hour. I'm sorry.
Not with Jane, no. You have to set some time aside.
Right. So you think this year sometimes, or maybe early next year?
You and I need to get together, and we're going to have to do plan on a date. I'll put it in my calendar, and I'll make sure I'm there.
Okay.
I can do that.
Absolutely. Hey, look, we'll treat you out to lunch, supper, whatever. We'll make it worth your while to come out. Now we're talking about food.
Oh yeah.
Asian country too,
Right. Now he's coming on for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, that is all right, man. Well, it sounds great. Well, look, that is great talking to you. We're going to keep you on the line till we end our show. Before we wrap things up and everything, is there anything that you'd like to go over or tell the people out there that's watching and listening? Gene.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Carstil's in front of you.
Right. Her turn's after you, so.
Well, when we do a show again, I sure like to talk, and I'd like to probably bring Carstil back so that she and I both live, there.
Oh, absolutely.
But talking about a little bit more in depth of what it's like to be a model and what it's like to be a photographer and some of the things that are necessary. Now, David, you and I have spoken before, and I mentioned to you about respect. I have a good reputation. I protect it because I'm very respectful to my models.
Absolutely. I've worked with you numerous times. I know that. I can vouch for that.
And my objective is to get the best possible picture because it's not doing either one of us any good not to,
Correct.
So that should be the ultimate objective. And I work very hard at what I do. I'm retired, and I'm an old man now.
Right.
But the
I
four
wouldn't
things,
go that far.
the four things that I do, they're fun. I don't work anymore. I have fun.
Yes.
My photography is fun. My American Legion is fun. My acting is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the other job I have is fun.
Yes.
So
if people could just learn how to do that while they're still working before they get retired.
And, we were just talking about that. It's like I was saying, I could be at a job and be exhausted and hate my job. But I'm doing what I love. I'm exhausted half the time, but I'm happy because I'm doing, what I love doing. And doing what you love, like, it makes all the difference in the world. It really, really does.
Well, Carstil, the way I explain it to people, they said, but you come home and you're exhausted. I said, yeah, but I can go fishing all day, come home and exhausted. And what was I doing fishing all day? So.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly.
Well said. That's right. That is right.
David, I got to say this before you let me go because to show you how Cajuns are down here and how we like to treat people, I have some cousins that are Yankees, okay? That's not a bad word. It's okay. And Sharon and Brian. Sharon's actually my cousin, and Brian is her husband. And Brian calls me brothers from a different mother.
Right.
And they're coming down between Christmas and New Year's. And they called me today. This just happened today. And we already have a list of places where we're going to eat. We have a restaurant down here in Laplace. You have to actually drive through the swamps to get to it, and it's on the lake. It's called Beck's, BEC''S.
Okay.
Beck's on the lake. The food is
wow.
Well, I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, it's off Highway 61.
No. Well, no. You're on 51, and you have to veer off where there's a road, and it goes through the swamps.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes the water comes up and you can't pass.
Oh.
You are in the swamp.
Talk about.
And Mr. Beck now is the owner. Papa Beck is what everybody calls him. And such a great guy. He loves veterans. He is a big supporter of veterans.
Right.
But I've taken state commanders there to eat. And, I mean, the food is to die for. So I'm taking Sharon and Brian up there to eat. And, of course, I'm going to have to, I guess, serve them some jambalaya. And
Gene, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but you're going to have to bring me there because I am what they call directionally disabled, and I will not find it, but I definitely want to check that place out.
Yeah, definitely, right.
Yeah, my stomach is growling thinking about it.
Right.
Well, David, if I'm going to bring Carstil, you might as well pack up the kids and the wife and bring them over. And
There we go. We'll work something out for sure. I guarantee you that.
It'll be worth the trip. I can guarantee.
Right.
Guarantee. There you go.
Oh, that's great. Well, that sounds great, Gene. Well, of course, Carstil, you have anything you want to talk about before we leave, or you want to wrap anything up?
I just want to, if you don't mind, I just want to put this out there because I meet people all the time that are just getting into the industry, and they're always like, what do I need to do if I really want to pursue acting? What do I need? Well, I just want to let people know these are the main things that you need, okay? You need professional headshots, okay? You really need those. That is so important. You're marketing yourself. You're working for yourself. You need to promote yourself. You need headshots. You need a video reel, and you need a good resume. And how do you get a good resume? Let me tell you, working for free. I get so many actors that complain, well, I'm not working for free. It's called paying your dues. You got to get out there. You're working for free, but you're building knowledge. You're getting experience. You're learning the industry, and you're getting clips for your video reel. So that's my advice. It may not be the best advice, but that's what I've learned. Those are the most important things. And if you're serious about, the industry, definitely those are the main things you need to get. And that's what you need to do to get your video reel. Just get out there, try to find independent films, student films,
Yes, there are a lot of them out there.
Student films are really great,
They're out there,
because they need to finish them really fast, so you're going to get your reel really fast. So,
right, true. Anything to add to that, Gene?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Anything to add to that?
Yes, just one small thing. The reason why you want to do this free work for these independent films is because, especially if you get speaking roles, you're actually auditioning just like a Hollywood film, and you're being recorded like a Hollywood film, but you're doing it on an independent film. And they normally give you a copy of it, and the parts that you're speaking in, that's part of your reel. The reel is no more than 90 seconds, but normally 60 to 90 seconds of 15-second parts that you're in, different characters. That way the producers, the directors can see how you look on the camera, how you sound on the camera, and it proves your acting ability. And that's why you do those free things.
Yes, very well said. That's right. Very good. And it does it shows you like in action doing an actual production.
Exactly. Yeah, you get all that experience.
Yeah.
And that's good experience.
It really is.
That's why so many people start out as background. And you learn what it's like to be on a multi-million-dollar Hollywood set, and the importance and the seriousness of it. It is, you don't mess around with that kind of money. You got a product to produce.
Exactly.
Yes, you do. Yes, and I think being working in the film industry gives you a very good work ethic if you're serious about it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It really
Yes,
does.
it does.
Oh my goodness, yes, you work and you work and you work.
And let me tell you something. If you're trying to get into the industry, if you're an actress or actor, being prompt, being on time, reliability is key. If these directors and casting agents, if they feel like they cannot depend on you, then it's just not going to work.
Important.
It's
that should be number one on the list.
I can't stress that enough. So if this is the industry you want to be in, you really have to be in the habit of being dependable and being on time.
That is
and then
so true.
Also for the very young people that are still in school, take up theater.
Yeah.
Do theater. That's good training for when you get into the film industry.
It really is.
Yes.
Carstil has done theater. That's why she's so good.
Yes. Right. No.
Well, thank you, Gene.
Right. No accident. That's right.
Well, thank you so much, Dave,
Yes.
for having me on your show.
Absolutely.
It's been so much fun. And
Yes. I'll do it again. That's it. Well, like I said, welcome to the team.
well,
for
thank
sure.
you, thank
Yep.
you. And I'm so I feel so special to be on here for your 50th episode.
I know, that
of
worked
all
out
episodes.
perfect.
How about that, Gene?
I'm honored.
Gene's on the
I
episode too.
know, right? This is awesome.
That worked out amazingly. And see, we were going to have our party at the City Club November 30th of this month, which is celebrating our 50th episode, which would have been this one or whatever one we did. But Gene, I don't know if I told you, but I did tell you about the party coming up, and we had some scheduling conflicts. But I postponed it because I wanted to get your stuff out the way so you could make it out there. And so you could be our official photographer for the event too, selling your prints and everything.
Yay.
Oh, yeah, because I print on site, and so many photographers don't.
Yes.
You're going to get it the same day, right then.
Yes, and we have 200 guests that are invited. It's by invitation only, pretty much. Or we kind of vet the people who want to come because we want to make sure that, well, first of all, our past guests and their families get in for free. And we have a lot of musicians that were on the show earlier, a couple politicians and stuff like that. They get in free. And that's going to probably account for maybe 70, 75 people maybe at the most. And then the rest of the people are going to actually pay to get into the party. But we're going to have it's going to be like a film premiere. We have the limousine, the red carpet, the photographers and everything outside.
Wow.
And we want to hype it up. We're hyping the Dave K Show up. It's a networking event.
Okay.
So we want to be able for everybody to network. We have some live music playing, our past guests and everything, some great food out there. The food's going to be amazing. The venue is beautiful. You're going to get you can buy some prints from Gene. He'll be out there selling his prints.
All
and
right.
I'm going to go buy me a couple of
And get me some more headshots while I'm there.
Right. That's right. We'll have the red carpet set up and everything. It's going to be really, really nice, and it's going to be a lot of fun for sure. So I want to make sure, Gene, when we get off there, we'll talk later on. I want to make sure that we reschedule this for a date that you're available, that you can make it.
Well, God bless you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Gene. Well, thanks for being with us, Gene. We're going to wrap it up right here, and we're going to be live again this coming weekend. I'm not sure what date, but that will be posted as soon as we get the guests and everything lined up. So that's going to wrap it up, Gene. Well, thanks for being with us.
God bless you both. Thank you very, very much.
All right, sounds great. Well, we'll see everybody on the flip side here. Thanks for watching the Dave K Show. Like and subscribe. This will be on our YouTube channel coming up. Share the Dave K Show page. Get the word out there. And if you want to be on our show, call 225-713-5099. You got any comments, suggestions, recommendations, give us a call. We want to hear from you. And everybody have a great night. We'll see you later. Boom. All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, she's doing